Hey everyone, welcome to Clove Creations. My name is Gareth. This is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Today I'm doing for you some smoked mackerel kedgeree. Absolutely love this. It's one of the classic kind of breakfast dishes, but I'm trying to think if I've ever even had it for breakfast. For me, it makes a wonderful little kind of week time dinner. So simple to make and really just packs a massive punch of flavour. So let's get cracking with it. As I say, this is really simple. So the first thing you're going to need, an onion. So you want one medium onion. If your onions are that size, probably half. We're just going to go with this one. We're just going to dice that up to about the same size as a grain of rice almost. So you've got little bits in there, maybe a little bit larger. Okay, so that's my onion all finely diced. That was a strong one. Now for a little bit of garlic. So just want one large clove of garlic here. Yeah, we just want to chop that up really fine. So that is all the chopping we need to do. The only bit we're going to do now is put together our stock. So I'm going to use a chicken stock for this. I'm just using one of these kind of stock pots. And the reason I want to do this now is because I do want it to cool a little while the onion's sweating off, because that just helps that rice. Once you're making the rice, it kind of lets it absorb a bit as it's heating up. Just gives you a slightly better finish. So if I can get into it, I'll make this. So now we've finally got our little stock out. I'm going to add in 320 ml of water for this. So due to the fact I'm doing this for two, with the amount of rice I want to do, we're going to have 320 ml. It's double. So if you've got 100 grams of rice, you'd be doing 200 ml of stock. So I'm doing a bit more than that, but we'll run through that in a second. There we go. So that's everything we need to prep over here. We can just go straight to grabbing the pan and get the whole thing cooking. So catch you over there. Okay, so here we are. Like I say, everything else we can do straight in here. Just going to flip my hob on. I'm just going to put a little bit of vegetable oil, probably a tablespoon or so in the bottom. Now we want to pop our onions in. And we're just going to sweat these down for about 8 minutes. Here we go. So we can get them coated, whack the lid on, just let them sweat. So in about 8 minutes, they'll be nice and soft when we whack the garlic in. So I'll catch you then. Okay, so that's my onion all sweated down nicely. Let's pop the garlic in. We're just going to give that just a couple of minutes. Just soften it very slightly. Okay, yeah, so just a couple of minutes and that garlic's done. So now we're going to add in all of those spices that really kind of bring this kedgeree alive. So we're going to start with ground ginger. You want 1/4 teaspoon of this one. It's going to add a little bit of heat to it. About 1/4 teaspoon. Then we want mustard seeds. I absolutely love these for this. We're going to go with 1/2 teaspoon of mustard seeds. You might treat yourself. Put a little bit more. And then turmeric. Very important, this one. Great little flavour with this. 1/2 teaspoon again. It's nice and simple this, you can see how it's going. Ground coriander. I think we're going to put in 1/2 teaspoon. And then finally on some cumin seeds. And you'd be surprised with this one. Yes, 1/2 teaspoon. So once you've got those in there, you just want to kind of mix it all around, let those spices kind of cook off a bit. And when you'll start to smell them pretty quick. So all those flavours really coming out now. So very quickly we're just going to add in our rice. I'm using, for two people, I'm using 160 grams of rice for this one. Just your normal kind of long grain rice, nothing special here. You can do this with basmati as well. You do it pretty much exactly the same way. Just find this one's nice and easy and I've got plenty of it. So we're going to whack that in there. Give that a bit of a stir around. Just try and get some of those spices all coated in the rice as well. Now at this point, we want our stock, what we made earlier. So we're just going to pour all of that straight in. Woo. So give that a stir, get it all mixed up nicely. And then we just don't want to forget to season it. So I'm going to put in a good pinch of salt, a couple of turns of black pepper. So there we go. We just want to bring that up to a simmer very gently. Let that rice start to absorb all of that kind of lovely chicken stock. So it's coming up. You can feel it. It's getting pretty hot. Once you start seeing the bubbles, we're going to put the lid on, turn it down. We're just going to keep it at a simmer with the lid absolutely shut. So we want to be really, really brave here. We're not even going to look at it. Okay, so that's it. Some steam's coming off now and I've got a couple of bubbles rising to the top. So, lid on, turn that down. We'll feel it when it comes to a simmer. You'll be able to feel it bubbling. Probably see a little bit escaping around the edge. You've just got to be really, really brave for this. So I'm going to leave that there, simmering away for 10 minutes. I'm not going to open that top, not even going to look at it. And I'll see you in 10. Woo. Okay, so that's 10 minutes up. As I said, we're just going to sit it there so we can flick that off, move it to the back, and then we're going to leave that there for another 10 minutes. And that's where it's so important you try not to peek. I mean, if you have to peek, do it very, very fast. If you've got one with a glass top, you're a very lucky person. But you can just leave it there, and that 10 minutes will let all that steam kind of like really bring that rice together, and it should be perfect. So now, what we want to do, ooh, that's boiling, is grab ourselves some water. We want to cook some eggs. So we just want hard boil 3 eggs. So I'm just going to whack that back on. Like so, drop the eggs, probably give them about 4 minutes, boiling away. Perfect. Gotta have eggs with Kedgeree. Just goes so well. Right, so eggs are all done. Got them here and just cooled them off in cold water. In fact, they're a bit hot. Let's put a bit more cold in. And just let them sit there for now. We want to keep that cold water in there because we don't want the eggs to overdo. I don't like them like rock solid. So kind of, I suppose you call them a medium boil. It's not really a soft boil, it's not really a hard boil. It's a medium boil. So now we're just going to chop up the last few little ingredients that we're going to mix that Kedgeree when it's done. First thing, parsley. You just want a really, really good handful of parsley leaves. Just give them a nice chop up. There we go, that'll do us. We can be pretty rough with it. A couple of almost whole ones will be fine. Go well. Then the main ingredient for this, smoked mackerel. And that's why I love using the stuff. So normally Kedgeree would do with haddock. But one, I can't be bothered to cook something else. And two, I really love this stuff. It's easy. You can have something in the fridge and it keeps for a lot longer. And then you can pop it in and make one of these whenever you want. So all I'm going to do with these is just cut, drop the knife first, but then just cut either side of that bone line, just because even when they say these things are boneless, they never are. What that'll allow you to do then is just pull away the chunks from the side and you can be guaranteed you've got no bones. So there we go. We just want, see there's a line of bones, you can feel them. Just want to slice either side of that line. And then that bit pulls away perfectly. And you're left with your bones in the end. Okay, so that's it. That's all the main ingredients, all there. Last thing we want to do is just peel our eggs. So I'll get on that, and when that's finished, and we're all ready to put it together, I'll come back to you then. Brilliant. So here's my rice. First time I'm looking at it, promise you. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Always trust myself. Yeah, and we can pull out, all of that liquid has been absorbed. Just give a little bit of taste. And yeah, it's still got some bite to it, but not too much. It's cooked, but it's not gone too far. You're not going to end up with a mush. That's absolutely lovely. So that's great. All we got to do now, flake in our mackerel, just some decent sized chunks. Like I say, 2 mackerel fillets is enough for 2 in this. Such a strong flavour. You don't need more, which is great because it makes it cheaper. Lovely. So that's with mackerel in, and then you just grab your parsley and pop that in as well. Give it all a good stir around. Great, so that's it, ready to plate it up. So we can just move that to the side. Grab yourself a bowl, or be very swanky and grab one of these. And just grab half of it and whack it in. Here we go. Last things, and I can't explain how much I love these with it. It's just, some of those eggs are perfectly done. Just balanced on top. Just those eggs on top. There we have it. Perfect mackerel kedgeree. And enjoy that. Some mango chutney, and then I've done a little kind of like mint and yogurt dip for it. It just adds that little bit of wetness into it, keeping it fat free as well, which just means you don't feel awful for piling on a load of stuff. Absolutely delicious. So I do hope you give this one a go. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.